Interesting stuff from Paul Pogba after the match. It's not me who's talking. I'm just trying to do my job. For the rest, there will always be talk. I just want to rewind to 24 hours before the kickoff. This is what Paul Pogba said. My future right now is with Manchester. I have a contract. Currently, I play there. But who knows what will happen in the next couple of months. Criag, it's one thing for him to say, you know, everyone else is talking, but that next couple of months opens the door for us, inevitably, to talk about his future.
Yeah, and I don't know about everybody else, but I'm a little bit sick of, not just this, but I'm a bit sick of Paul Pogba's positioning on this. Whether he's got issues with Mourinho or not, I don't care. But people will say, well, he's asked the question. He's a clever guy. Just bat it off and move on. Say, I'm not talking about this. I'll talk about other things. But he continues to fuel the fire. Yeah. He continues to fuel the fire by making these statements, whether they're coming from him or via his agent. I don't know. But I myself just think, you're employed by United, who've paid a hell of a lot of money for you. You've got a coach under pressure. And I just want to see him now go. I'm fed up with him making the comments about potentially leaving and my contract's running out and I don't really get on with the coach. I just don't like this anymore.
Well, I can see Gab is pulling a funny face. Gab?
No, look, he didn't say any of this. I know we can read it a certain way. Well, you know, Dan read the quote there. Well, as I understand it, the context of the question was, you know, where do you see your future and why are things so bad at Manchester United? And yes, could he have gone and answered it differently? What he basically said, my future's at Manchester United. We'll see what happens in the next couple months. He doesn't mean like, we'll see if I leave in the next couple months. He means we'll see how things improve in the next couple months. And then he's got to go back and correct it afterwards. I mean, it's inevitable that expectations are high United and Pogba's in the firing line. But you know, this is still the guy who came back.
You're letting him off here, aren't you? Quite lightly suggesting...
I'm not. Listen, I'm not. This is not. Listen, Pogba knows perfectly well that if it comes down to him or Mourinho, the club are going to choose Pogba, okay? He also knows perfectly well that there's no massive queue of clubs lining up right now to go and sign him.
But,
and he also knows perfectly well
that
the transfer window's closed.
He knows perfectly well. He knows.
Because he's talking about Manchester United's performance. He's not talking about whether he's going to leave in 2 months, which he can't do anyway because the transfer window's closed. He's talking about the club. And then the media take the whole quote and make it seem like he's talking about himself.
So why couldn't he have just ended the quote by saying, I'm at Manchester United, I have a contract there, ends?
Because he wasn't asked, are you going to leave Manchester United? He was going to ask, how do you see the future for yourself and for Manchester United? You're not doing great right now.
Okay,
in fact, I'm paraphrasing the question.
Gab, I'm not.
You know what? Look, if he's got to go and put every answer through a lawyer, you know, then that's great.
Right,
but
Gab, let me just.
I think there's bigger issues here.
Let me just ask you, Sam, because I'm coming back on board with this. Did he? Because I want to know this. Did he go back and correct, as you said, what he meant by the 2 or 3 months? Did he correct that?
Well, he spoke after the game, right?
I don't know. I didn't see his comments after him. Did he?
You saw the quote after the game.
And that was his quote.
The only quote I've seen of the quote that Dan's given me and our producer's given me. Is there anything else that clarifies what he meant? Because if it does, I'll take it all back. And we shouldn't be using those quotes in the context in which they are, if he's clarified it.
As far as I know, he spoke after the game. He was asked the same questions, and he was talking the usual guff about, you know, focusing on Manchester United. And we're gonna all improve together and blah blah blah. I mean,
but his agent's made it pretty clear he wants him to go to Barcelona. He's made that very clear, hasn't he?
Has he? Has he made it very clear? Or are we just following the usual line where because his agent has a go at Paul Scholes, who last time I looked doesn't work for Manchester United, and incidentally has been just as critical about Mourinho as he has of Pogba. All of a sudden, like his agent does what the agent's job. I don't think he's come out and said Pogba's dying to go to Barcelona. I mean, we have Julian Lawrence on here every 3 days, and he keeps repeating it over and over and over again. How much Pogba wants to be at Manchester United right now, I don't know. I mean, who are we going to believe? The Red Tops or Julian Lawrence and Paul Pogba?